Hi YouTube, my name is The Jade Plant, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I create my cute Twitch overlays using Procreate. First, we're going to begin with a new canvas. To create a new canvas, hit the plus icon at the top right of the screen, and then select the new project icon. For the width, we're going to put 1920, and for the height, we're going to put 1080. This is the universal aspect ratio for YouTube videos, most live streaming platforms, and the typical size for most video games as well. For the DPI stands for dots per inch. I always put 600 for overlays, as this ensures your artwork will look clear and high quality. Now we can select create, and we are in our new blank canvas. First thing we need to do here is create a space or a cutout for where our gameplay screen and our webcam is going to be. We will do this by dragging over the color black and filling in our entire canvas. Now we're going to hit the wrench icon on the top left and save this blank black canvas as a PNG file to your camera roll. We did this to ensure that our gameplay screen is still within the 1920 by 1080 aspect ratio. If you just try to draw it by hand, you're more likely to be inaccurate, and we want to make sure it's that aspect ratio so that your gameplay screen fits perfectly in there. Now we can close that menu and head back to our blank canvas. I'm going to go ahead and delete the black screen layer because we don't need that anymore. We will be importing that image from our camera roll. When we need that again, then I'm going to add a new blank layer. Now on the blank layer, drag over the color you'd like to use for your base or your background color. I went with this muted yellowy orange as I'm going with a more lighter pastel themed overlay, but you can really pick any color you like. Now we are going to import our gameplay screen. So again, hitting the wrench on the top left of the screen, we're going to select insert a photo and then go ahead and select the black image from the camera roll. Now that it is imported, we are now in resizing mode in Procreate. Resizing mode is that little cursor icon on the top left, and you want to make sure when you're resizing and you want to keep the dimensions, you have the option uniform selected. This ensures that Procreate does not randomly resize or reshape whatever image you just put in. It'll keep the original aspect ratio. We can resize and move the gameplay screen to wherever you like on your screen. I'm heading back into the layer section on the top right, and I'm swiping on our gameplay screen to duplicate it. I'm selecting the cursor menu again to resize, and now I'm selecting freeform. Freeform allows me to move around the aspect ratio, so it's not going to keep true to the size, but that's okay. So that is for our webcam. And I'm also retitling them just to stay organized. Now for the background, I wanted to do a grid background, so I'm adding a new layer and I'm finding the grid brush under textures and I'm making a grid style design. A cool trick on how to recolor if you're not happy with what color you chose. You pick the magic brush on the top left and go to hue, saturation, and brightness, and from here you can change the color of whatever layer you're selected on. Now we're going to begin drawing, and I want to draw some cute flowers. Again, I want to do like a cute kawaii pastel style overlay. So I'm going to draw some flowers. The brush that I'm mostly going to be using for this art piece is the brush Monoline. You can find that under the calligraphy section under Procreate. And I've selected Monoline and I've gone into the settings and I'm just adjusting the stabilization to about 55%. I'm going to draw in some plants, just some little vines here. And we're also going to draw in some flowers. Again, you can see I'm using the resize function on Procreate to move around a layer. And I'm drawing on some flower tops as well. You'll also notice that I typically add a new layer every single time I do a new section of the art piece. So I draw each piece on its own layer. This is a good habit to get into because it allows you to go and fix your mistakes much easier than if you were to draw everything on the same layer. So I drew those two little flowers and I'm going to draw some more here. Now I want to add some detailing onto this peony type flower I just drew. So I'm adding a new layer and I'm selecting clipping mask under the layer settings. A clipping mask is basically you're clipping the top layer to the bottom, and that makes it so you can only draw within the bounds of the layer it's clipped onto. The clipping mask allows you to easily stay in the lines of whatever layer you're trying to draw onto. And once I'm done with the clipping mask, I just merged it down to the layer below. So now they're attached to one another. I duplicated it and I'm adding the other peony bud on to the other stem. And we're drawing on some leaves. And then I wanted to go with this like watercolor area for the stream alerts. So I have gone into the painting brushes and I picked the brush Spectra and I'm adding some watercolor smudges. And I've duplicated that into 3 so that they're all the same. And I'm just readjusting them using the readjust and resize function of Procreate. And I've renamed them so we're organized, and that's how those look. And then I'm also adding a chat box using the same brush on its own layer. I resized it a bit to straighten it out, and there you are. Now at this point you'll notice I am playing around with the vines a little bit and I'm moving them around the screen as I ended up not loving the placement of where I put them. And that's why I suggest drawing each art piece onto its own layer so you can easily readjust and move stuff around without having to redraw things. So now that I'm happy with the vines, I'm just going through my layer organization and combining the flowers down so that the flower buds are on the same layer as the stems because I'm done drawing them now. I've made sure everything is labeled properly. Now we are going to cut out the webcam and the gameplay screen. So you want to merge down the webcam slot and the gameplay slot onto your background layer, so it's all one layer. Next, we're using the cutout tool on Procreate. You can see I have it selected. It's a little squiggle on the top left. Make sure that you've selected your background and your gameplay screen layer, the one we just merged down. Make sure that's selected. Select the rectangle tool and drag over where your gameplay screen is. Now we're going to select the eraser tool and just erase that section you've selected. And do it again, the same steps for where the webcam is. We're going to erase it. And now we have proper cutouts where the gameplay screen is and the webcam screen. The last step is to add text. This step is optional. You don't have to do this, but I find that it looks nice and organized. We're going to add text onto the alert boxes and the chat box. To add text, we're going to use the wrench tool on the top left and select add text. Put whatever wording you would like. To edit the text, once you've chosen the placement, under the layer menu, select whatever text you just put down and then choose edit text. You can go change the color of your text or the font or anything like that. I'm just playing around with it. I'm adding a Dropbox to the text by duplicating the text. I changed the color of the layer below, and then I moved it so that it adds a shadow effect to my text. I'm also just playing around with the colors to see which one stands out more. And there is our text. To recolor the drop shadow layer, I'm just adding a clipping mask onto the text I would recolor. and I'm painting over it easily, and then I'm merging it down so that that text is the new color. As you can see, I'm doing that for all 3 of the alert boxes. I chose recent follow, recent sub, and recent cheer, and then I'm adding one for the chat box as well. That is our simple and easy gameplay overlay tutorial. If you do like this gameplay overlay, I do have it available to download from my Ko-Fi shop as well. I'll have the link below if you want to grab this for yourself. And there you are. That is the end of our tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I'm hoping to make more tutorials on different ways to make overlays with different programs. So this is the Procreate one. My next one I'm hoping to make is for Photoshop, and then maybe one for Canva as well. Let me know if you're interested in seeing those tutorials. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.